future-proofing logistics through automation. Well, joining us today to speak about that important topic, Mark Richardson, CEO of Ocado Intelligent Automation. Mark, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Thank you, Russell.
Mark, let's talk about the trends that you see in the logistics space that are driving what can only be described as a continuing adoption of automation technology. It's just going on and on and on. What is it that's top of mind right now for people that is causing this great interest in this technology? What would you say?
I think the biggest factor right now are changes in the labor market, right? I think obviously automation is a way to achieve greater productivity, perhaps run with fewer people in your labor force. But in recent years, labor rates have accelerated, perhaps beyond what you might have expected. And over the last 3 to 6 years, the workforce that you want to employ in your logistics facility has just become much more expensive. I don't see any end to that trend. I think it suits governments. It's a desired outcome, and it results in a significant problem for those of us who need to run large logistics operations. And not only is the labor rate increasing, but also the number of people who want to do logistics work, I think, is decreasing. And it's harder to come by the staff.
Well, quite aside from driving down cost, quite aside from, I guess, increasing operational efficiencies, there's something else that seems to be driving people to adopt this kind of technology. When you and I were speaking earlier, I jotted down a note here about better service outcomes. So I wish you would talk to the viewer, because he or she might be saying to themselves, is this something that I need to implement? Is this going to give me a desired and enhanced service outcome? So walk them through that. Is that going to be the case for them?
Yeah, I think it's very important as people's expectations of service levels have been refined since e-commerce began in particular. People have very high standards. People expect product to be delivered on time and to be delivered correct and accurate. And automation gives you accuracy and predictability. And in the end, those are the two biggest, most important components of customer satisfaction, right? I want to get what I was expecting, and I want to get it when I asked for it and when you said you would deliver it. And the automation takes some of the variability out. It takes some of the guesswork out, and that the outcomes are more predictable.
The benefits, I think, that you've outlined are clear, and yet there are some folks who are continuing to be reluctant to invest in the technology. What do you think is leading or leads to that reluctance on their part? What really is that all about?
I've no doubt there's a little bit of sticker shock. People just don't want to spend the money. But actually, what I really think among the organizations for whom automation is a really good idea, there is perhaps a lack of confidence in the outcomes after that investment. Sometimes I think there is a history of having invested in automation in the past and not got the result out of the facility that you'd installed the automation in that you were hoping. Even if the automation itself worked okay, the logistics operation as a whole is more complex than that.
Okay, so let me put on my potential client hat for just a moment. I've gotten over the sticker shock. I'm placed well enough that I can make some investments, and I want to. I understand the benefits that I'm going to derive from this, but I'm unclear where I need to start. So talk to me. What advice would you give me? What is a good starting point for people like me?
Well, if you took Ocado Intelligent Automation as an example, and the product that we would offer you, right? So that's super dense storage, so you need a small footprint in your warehouse and save you some real estate costs. I have very high throughput in this solution, and so also high productivity, so we can keep the number of people that you need to employ in your warehouse to a minimum, which is a good investment for the future. And in the case of Ocado Intelligent Automation, you're also dealing with a company that not only designs and builds warehouses and installs all its own technology in those warehouses, but also in the UK we operate those warehouses. And so we have an operator's mentality, and we can bring expertise to bear to help you make the warehouse perform, not just make the equipment perform.
You know, at the top of the interview, we gave a title, so to speak, to our talk. We talked about future-proofing logistics through automation. You've given a talk here at Manifest where you used that very terminology. But let's drill down for just a moment. What do we mean by that, future-proofing? What are we talking about?
So we're talking about introducing automation into your operation, not just to deliver you a benefit today, but to protect you and buffer you from changes coming in the future. Right? Those changes being your labor becoming more expensive and harder to come by, your competition, investing in automation and getting those predictable, accurate outcomes that I talked about earlier. And all of that is going to happen whether or not you invest in automation. And so to keep up with those trends, that's what I mean by future-proofing logistics through automation.
Well, you just then made the argument for why a viewer needs to very seriously consider making this type of investment. Mark, I appreciate it so very much that you found the time to speak with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell.
It's Mark Richardson, Ocado Intelligent Automation, speaking with us today about future-proofing logistics, perhaps in your operation, through automation. Thanks for watching.